It wasn't just any piece of jewelry. The Rose of Jada, a name that sent shivers through the world's most elite gem collectors. A masterpiece of opulence and power, a necklace adorned with a breathtaking 20-carat pink diamond, glowing like a drop of royal blood beneath the desert sun, encircled by intricate white gold detailing and dozens of smaller, sparkling diamonds. Valued at over $2 million, it was a personal gift from a powerful Saudi prince, sent directly to the Princess of Wales, Catherine. But what happened next stunned everyone. In a moment that left diplomats, royals, and global media in complete disbelief, Catherine refused the gift. No hesitation, no flicker of temptation in her eyes. She simply closed the box gently, looked directly at the prince's envoy, and gave a reply so calm, yet so cutting, it silenced the entire room. A refusal that wasn't just a rejection, it was a silent declaration of principle, dignity, and quiet defiance. What she did next, seemingly simple, yet packed with meaning, brought international headlines to a standstill, because Catherine wasn't just turning down diamonds, she was rejecting the idea that honor can be bought. In that single act, she broke away from centuries of royal precedent and whispered a message the whole world heard loud and clear. From that moment on, Catherine was no longer just admired for her grace and style. She became something more, a symbol of royal pride. A woman who could stand firm in the face of gold, power, and seduction, and walk away with her head held higher than ever. Before we dive into the lavish gift, let's first look at the Princess of Wales, a woman admired by the world not only for her elegance, but for something far more remarkable, a presence so compelling it evokes memories of the legendary Princess Diana. Catherine Middleton wasn't born into royalty. She didn't grow up in silks or have servants in grand castles. Her parents were an airline stewardess and a manager, regular people with everyday dreams. Yet from that humble background, Catherine emerged like a rare bloom in the palace. That is why millions of Britons see themselves in her, a royal daughter-in-law who isn't distant or aloof, but genuine and relatable as the air they breathe. She is often called the second Diana, but that comparison isn't meant to diminish, it's meant to honor. Despite the centuries-long distance between them, the turmoil within the palace, and the scandals that have beset the monarchy, Catherine carries a gentle resolve reminiscent of Diana. Both possess expressive eyes, smiles that combine warmth with sharp intelligence. And neither is a mere figurehead. Both know who they are and dare to live by it. Like Diana, Catherine is loved not because she is a prince's wife, but because she is herself. She doesn't need extravagance to win hearts. Her quiet charity visits, visits to children's hospitals without cameras, and sincere embraces of single mothers, these moments have captured the souls of the British people. Through silent actions, she whispers a powerful message: I'm not above you, I'm beside you. While the royal family has often been criticized for cold distance during crises, Catherine's warm presence has soothed it all. She doesn't give long speeches or moral lessons. She listens, touches her shoulder at the right time, and uses silence to comfort without causing harm. Diana was called the people's princess. Today, Catherine is writing the next chapter, stronger and less solitary than Diana ever was. Behind her gentle exterior lies steel-clad determination. She joined the monarchy not just as a spouse, but as a builder of a new image for a weakened institution. With King Charles under fire, Camilla causing division, Prince Harry stepping away with controversy, Catherine and William remain the only pillars holding the monarchy's reputation intact. Never before has a commoner turned royal earned such unwavering trust from the public. But this wasn't happening. Catherine is smart, educated, poised, and always measured in gesture. Above all, she guards her values. Amid temptations of luxury, she leads a discreet life, modest, unshowy. Even when with the global wealthy elite, Catherine grasps just enough formality without losing herself, which is why the Rose of Jada gift became an explosive moment. A royal woman rejecting a $2 million necklace from a Saudi prince, that's unprecedented, especially in a world where royal gifts carry political weight. But with steady eyes and a composed voice, Catherine refused as if turning down a small pastry swift, unwavering, unfazed by the glitter of the 20-carat pink diamond. Because to her, a royal lady's integrity is worth more than any gem. What the public celebrates in Catherine isn't just diplomatic correctness. It's her use of action to shelter her dignity at a time when wealth and power can obscure truth. She wouldn't let herself be a diplomatic pawn. That act was a quiet but powerful slap to those trying to manipulate the monarchy's image. Today, people call her the Queen of Hearts, not crowned by ceremony or gold, but by admiration in the eyes of mothers, by earnest smiles of the elderly, and by trust of the next generation, proof that Catherine has accomplished what many royals have failed capturing: the people's heart. For fans of Diana, Catherine is the miracle they were waiting for, not a replacement, but a stunning new chapter, beautiful, resilient, and brilliantly distinct. She isn't just fit for a crown, she's writing history as a living symbol of Britain's pride. It all began when Catherine, Princess of Wales, was offered an extravagant gift by a Saudi prince. The world leaned in to see what she would do. The gift wasn't just any trinket. It was the Rose of Jada, a breathtaking pink diamond necklace. Its centerpiece, a 20-carat gem flanked by delicate white gold filigree and smaller diamonds, valued at over £2 million. Royal insiders whispered about the moment the velvet box was presented, its contents gleaming under the chandeliers of a diplomatic reception. But what happened next, Catherine's response, wasn't just polite. It was a masterclass in diplomacy that left the Saudi prince nodding in respect and the world marveling at her grace. This wasn't about rejecting a gift. It was about something deeper, a quiet statement of values, a nod to tradition, and a bridge between cultures. Catherine didn't just say no to the Rose of Jeddah. She chose instead to accept a simpler, more meaningful offering: a hand-woven silk shawl dyed with natural indigo and embroidered with traditional Saudi motifs. And then, in a move that surprised everyone, she sent a reciprocal gift to the prince, a bespoke set of sterling silver cufflinks crafted in London and engraved with Celtic knots, symbolizing unity and eternity. These small gestures spoke volumes, showing the world that true diplomacy isn't about wealth, it's about connection. To understand Catherine's decision, we need to start with the gift itself. The Rose of Jeddah wasn't just jewelry, it was a statement. Pink diamonds are among the rarest gems on earth, and this one, mined from Australia's Argyle mine, was flawless. Its blush hue caught the light like a desert sunset. The necklace, designed by a renowned Parisian jeweler, featured intricate patterns inspired by Saudi architecture, arches and stars woven into the setting, each diamond meticulously placed to reflect the kingdom's opulence. Sources close to the Saudi royal family described it as a piece meant to honor Catherine's elegance and the deepening ties between the UK and Saudi Arabia. But gifts like these are never just about beauty. In Saudi culture, lavish presents are a tradition rooted in hospitality and prestige. The kingdom's leaders have a history of offering extravagant jewelry to foreign dignitaries, from Queen Elizabeth II's diamond necklaces to Diana's sapphire suite. For the prince, offering the Rose of Jada was a diplomatic gesture, a way to signal respect and strengthen bonds with the British royal family. Yet, it also carried weight. Accepting such a gift could imply obligation, a subtle expectation of reciprocity and diplomatic favors. For Catherine, a future queen consort, the stakes were high. Royal protocol, updated in 2003, advises caution with extravagant gifts, urging royals to consider the donor's intent and potential public perception. Catherine's role as a modern royal added another layer. She's not just a figurehead, she's a global icon whose every move is scrutinized. Accepting a $2 million necklace could spark criticism, especially given Saudi Arabia's complex human rights record. The world was watching, and Catherine knew it. Her decision wasn't just about the jewelry, It was about navigating a diplomatic tightrope with grace. The moment the Rose of Jeddah was unveiled, the air in the gilded reception hall seemed to pause. Crystal chandeliers cast a soft glow over the gathered dignitaries, their murmurs fading as the Saudi prince, with a gracious smile, presented the velvet box to Catherine. The necklace's pink diamond centerpiece sparkled, a symbol of wealth and prestige that could have dazzled anyone. But Catherine, poised in a tailored emerald gown, didn't falter. Her response was a delicate dance of diplomacy, one that turned a potential refusal into a celebration of shared values. It was the kind of moment that royal watchers would dissect for years, a refusal that felt like an embrace. Catherine's approach was masterful. She leaned slightly toward the prince, her expression warm and genuine, as she admired the necklace. "This is truly exquisite," she said, her voice soft but clear, carrying the weight of sincerity. "The craftsmanship is remarkable, but what touches me most is the spirit of your country's traditions. I'd be deeply honored to accept a gift that reflects that heritage." Her words were deliberate, chosen to honor the prince's generosity while gently steering the conversation toward cultural meaning over material value. It was a pivot so seamless that the room seemed to exhale in relief. The prince, a seasoned diplomat himself, caught her intent immediately. With a nod, he gestured to an aide who presented a second gift, a hand-woven silk shawl from Al-Assa, its deep indigo threads embroidered with delicate palm fronds and desert roses. This was no afterthought. It was a piece of Saudi Arabia's cultural heart, crafted by artisans whose work told stories of the land and its people. Catherine's face lit up as she ran her fingers over the fabric, her gratitude evident in the way she held it close. "This is beautiful," she said, "and it means so much to carry a piece of your heritage." Later, she wore the shawl at a private palace event, a quiet nod to the prince's thoughtfulness that didn't go unnoticed. This wasn't just about sidestepping a diplomatic landmine. Catherine's choice reflected her deep understanding of the moment's nuances. A blunt refusal could have been misread as disrespect, risking a chill in UK-Saudi relations at a time when trade and energy partnerships were under discussion. By praising the Rose of Jeddah, but embracing the shawl, she acknowledged the prince's gesture without entangling herself in the implications of a $2 million gift. It was a calculated move, rooted in royal protocol and her own emotional intelligence. She knew the world was watching not just the diplomats in the room, but the global audience on social media, ready to parse every detail. What made the moment even more powerful was its authenticity. Catherine's warmth wasn't rehearsed. It was the same quiet empathy she shows when comforting a child at a charity event or listening intently to a world leader. That genuineness bridged the gap between protocol and human connection, making the prince feel respected rather than rebuffed. Royal insiders later shared that he spoke highly of her tact, calling her a true ambassador. In that fleeting exchange, Catherine didn't just navigate a diplomatic challenge. She built a moment of mutual respect that would echo far beyond the palace walls. Catherine's story didn't end with accepting the silk shawl. In a move that turned a diplomatic exchange into a heartfelt dialogue, she responded with a gift of her own, one that carried the weight of British heritage and her personal touch. She sent the Saudi prince a pair of sterling silver cufflinks crafted by a storied jeweler in London's Hatton Garden, a district synonymous with artisanal excellence. These weren't just accessories, they were a symbol of connection. Each cufflink was engraved with a Celtic knot, an ancient motif representing unity, eternity, and the interwoven bonds of friendship. The design, subtle yet profound, was chosen to mirror the cultural depth of the shawl, creating a perfect balance of reciprocity. The craftsmanship behind the cufflinks was a story in itself, forged by artisans whose families have worked with silver for generations. The pieces were hand-polished to a soft gleam, reflecting the understated elegance that defines Catherine's style. The Celtic knot, with its intricate loops, spoke to Britain's historical tapestry, its myths, its landscapes, and its enduring spirit. Accompanying the gift was a handwritten note from Catherine, penned in her neat script, expressing gratitude for the prince's hospitality and a hope for lasting friendship between their nations. This personal touch, insiders say, moved the prince deeply, as it showed a level of care that transcended protocol. In diplomacy, reciprocity isn't just courtesy, it's strategy. Catherine's choice of cufflinks adhered to royal guidelines that favor thoughtful, non-extravagant gifts, ensuring no perception of imbalance or obligation. Their value lay not in pounds but in meaning, aligning with the shawl's cultural significance. The gesture showcased British craftsmanship, subtly promoting the UK's creative heritage on a global stage. Royal watchers noted how the cufflinks, though simple, carried a quiet power much like Catherine herself. Never flashy, always impactful. The world took notice. On X, posts praised her elegant reciprocity, with one user calling the cufflinks a masterstroke of soft power. The exchange became a talking point in diplomatic circles, with analysts marveling at how Catherine turned a potential misstep into a celebration of shared values. The prince, by all accounts, was delighted, reportedly wearing the cufflinks at a later event as a nod to the bond forged. This wasn't just a gift, it was a bridge built with care and cemented with respect, proving that the smallest gestures can leave the deepest impressions. Why did Catherine Ishmael, Princess of Wales, turn down the Rose of Jada, a £2 million pink diamond necklace that dazzled all who saw it? The answer weaves together personal conviction, royal protocol, global optics, and a keen awareness of the modern world's gaze. At its core, her refusal was about staying true to the values that define her as a royal and a person. Catherine has built an image of relatability. Think Zara dresses, school runs, and heartfelt speeches on mental health. Accepting a necklace worth more than most people's homes could fracture that image, painting her as out of touch in an era of economic strain. She knew the public, quick to judge, might see extravagance where she saw diplomacy. Royal protocol played a significant role. The 2003 guidelines, born from past controversies like the 1980s Omen sports car scandal, urge caution with lavish gifts. Such presents, especially from influential nations like Saudi Arabia, can imply obligation, a diplomatic IOU that could complicate future relations. With Saudi Arabia's strategic ties to the UK from oil to defense, Catherine's refusal avoided any hint of influence, preserving the monarchy's neutrality. Her decision reflected a deep understanding of the delicate balance royals must strike in a world where every gesture is parsed. Then there's the global context. Saudi Arabia's human rights record, spotlighted by events like the 2018 Jamal Khashoggi murder, invites scrutiny. Accepting the Rose of Jeddah could have sparked backlash, as seen with the Countess of Wessex 2012 Bahrain jewel controversy. Catherine, media savvy and attuned to social media's pulse, likely foresaw the X posts and editorials that would question her choice. By refusing, she sidestepped a potential PR storm, reinforcing her reputation as a thoughtful, principled royal. On a personal level, Catherine's choice reflects her character. She's a woman who cherishes authenticity, seen in her hands-on parenting and quiet charity work. The hand-woven shawl she accepted instead spoke to her appreciation for cultural meaning over monetary value. It wasn't just about avoiding a diplomatic misstep, it was about honoring her role as a bridge between nations. Her refusal wasn't cold or calculated, it was warm, grounded in a desire to do right by her family, her country, and the world watching her every move. The world couldn't get enough of Catherine's diplomatic finesse, and the reaction was nothing short of electric. From the bustling newsrooms of London to the vibrant cafes of Riyadh, her refusal of the Rose of Jeddah and her thoughtful exchange of cultural gifts sparked a global conversation. British tabloids splashed headlines like "Catherine's classy snub" and "A lesson in royal grace," while broadsheets like The Times lauded her as the queen of soft power. In Saudi Arabia, media outlets praised her respect for their heritage, with Al-Ittihad calling her acceptance of the shawl a nod to our artisan's legacy. The story transcended borders, uniting royal watchers, diplomats, and everyday people in admiration. Social media erupted, amplifying the moment's reach. On X, hashtags like hashtag royal diplomacy, #Catherine class, and hashtag shawl over diamonds trended for days, amassing millions of views. Ours shared fan-made graphics of the silk shawl's intricate patterns and speculated about the cufflink's Celtic knots, with one viral post reading, "Catherine didn't just say no to a diamond, she built a bridge between nations. That's royalty done right." Another user, a Saudi fashion blogger, posted a video analyzing the shawl's craftsmanship, garnering thousands of likes for highlighting its cultural significance. The online buzz wasn't just about the gifts, it was about what they represented: mutual respect in a world often divided. Experts weighed in, dissecting Catherine's actions with academic precision. Diplomacy scholars saw her as a case study in navigating cultural nuance. Sadara Aisha Al-Mansouri, a Riyadh-based political analyst, noted that by choosing the shawl, Catherine elevated Saudi Arabia's cultural narrative, aligning with the kingdom's Vision 2030 push to showcase its heritage. In the UK, Professor James Hartley, a royal historian, praised her reciprocity, saying the cufflinks were a masterstroke, simple, symbolic, and perfectly aligned with British values of understated elegance. Analysts also drew parallels to historical royals like Queen Victoria's careful gift exchanges with Ottoman sultans, but argued Catherine's approach was uniquely modern, shaped by social media's unblinking eye. The moment invited comparisons to other royal gift controversies. Diana's acceptance of a sapphire suite from Crown Prince Fahd in 1981 was frequently cited, but commentators noted the different eras. Diana faced less public scrutiny, while Catherine operates in a digital age where every decision is parsed online. Her refusal was seen as a response to this transparency, avoiding the backlash faced by figures like Sophie, Countess of Wessex, over Bahrain's jewels in 2012. Yet, what set Catherine apart was her ability to turn a potential misstep into a triumph. By embracing the shawl and reciprocating with cufflinks, she crafted a narrative of unity that resonated globally. The reaction wasn't just analytical, it was emotional. Stories emerged of British and Saudi citizens exchanging small cultural gifts inspired by Catherine's example. A London school teacher shared how her students sent handmade cards to a Saudi classroom, receiving woven bookmarks in return. These micro-exchanges, sparked by a royal moment, underscored the story's deeper impact. Catherine hadn't just navigated a diplomatic challenge, she'd inspired a ripple effect of connection, proving that even in a world of grand gestures, the smallest ones often matter most. Catherine's refusal of the Rose of Jade wasn't just a moment. It was a milestone in modern royalty, a testament to her ability to navigate the complexities of global diplomacy with elegance and heart. By choosing a hand-woven silk shawl over a £2 million diamond necklace and reciprocating with sterling silver cufflinks engraved with Celtic knots, she crafted a narrative that transcended wealth, focusing instead on mutual respect and cultural appreciation. This wasn't just about saying no to extravagance, it was about saying yes to connection, to shared values, and to a vision of diplomacy that feels human even under the weight of royal duty. This story resonates because it reveals Catherine's essence not just as a princess, but as a woman of principle, poised to shape the monarchy's future. Her actions strengthened UK-Saudi ties without compromising her integrity, earning admiration from diplomats in Whitehall to artisans in Al-Asa. On X, fans shared heartfelt posts, one calling her the Queen of Soft Power, while another shared a sketch of the shawl captioned, "This is what grace looks like." These reactions show how Catherine's choices ripple beyond palace walls, touching people who see her as a beacon of authenticity in a world often driven by optics. Her approach marks a shift in the monarchy's role. Unlike past eras where lavish gifts were accepted as symbols of alliance, Catherine's decision reflects a monarchy adapting to a more transparent, accountable age. She's paving the way for a future where royalty isn't defined by grandeur, but by impact, where a simple shawl or a pair of cufflinks can carry more weight than a diamond. This moment also highlights her personal influence. By honoring Saudi traditions and reciprocating with British craftsmanship, she showed that diplomacy can be a dialogue, not a transaction, setting a precedent for future royals like Charlotte or George. What's more, Catherine's actions inspire beyond diplomacy. They remind us that grace isn't about perfection. It's about making choices that align with your values, even when the world is watching. Her quiet leadership, much like her parenting or her charity work, shows that small gestures can have monumental impact. They say the crown is reserved for those chosen by destiny. But Catherine didn't need destiny. She didn't need royal blood or a noble birthright. She captured the crown with her heart, her grace, and her unwavering strength. While many royals have stumbled into scandal, controversy, or lost touch with the people, Catherine quietly walked into the hearts of millions in a way no one expected, with elegance, composure, and a remarkably sharp diplomatic mind. She doesn't need lavish displays. She doesn't need to demand recognition. Her intelligent silence, her perfectly timed smile, and her calm gaze in the face of chaos have earned her the admiration of an entire nation. Catherine is the crown jewel of the royal family, not just for her beauty, but because she embodies everything a true queen should be: sharp in diplomacy, steady under pressure, and above all, deeply connected to the people. Today, when the British public looks at Catherine, they don't just see a princess. They see the shadow of a future queen, not one who needs a glittering crown, because the love and trust of millions are already the most radiant crown she could wear. And if one day Catherine ascends the throne, no one will be surprised, because in the eyes of the people, she's been a queen all along, the Queen of Hearts, respected not for her title, but for her dignity. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more revelations and secrets from behind the royal curtain.